Likewise, there's a juhud, there's a struggle, a jihad, bil mal, money, wealth. Parting with that wealth is not always easy, particularly when somebody has a haja or a need. Ala ra's wal ayn, crown on our heads, Sayyidah Fatima Zahra, Salamullah alayha, the blessed daughter of the Prophet ﷺ, his fourth and youngest daughter, radiallahu anha, who, when the Jewish man knocked on the door and asked for sadaqah, from the sha'an of the Prophet we know, alayhi salatu wasalam, is that he would never turn anyone away empty-handed. This is from his practice. He couldn't bear to do it, he was too shy. And I love the shyness of Rasulullah alayhi salatu wasalam. He was too shy, that if somebody asked him for something, he wouldn't say no. Likewise, this is the Ahlul Bayt, Al Muhammad, are like the Prophet. And so it was a poor man, he knocked on the door and he asked for sadaqah, for charity. Now Sayyidah Fatima didn't have anything in the house. We know the life of Sayyidah Fatima, that she in fact complained once that her hands had become, I don't know what the English word is for it, but yeah, they had become somewhat damaged, or because of the fact that she had nobody to help her in all of the work. That normally, you have to remember something, the household of people like that are normally very busy. You know, Hazrat Ziaul Ummah, Sheikh Muhammad Karim Shah Al-Azhari, when he started off his Darul in Punjab, in Pakistan, you know who used to cook the food for the students? These are students, young men that are studying. Who used to cook the food for all of them was his wife. She used to take care of all of it. And one time she complained that she said that they went to visit their Sheikh, Sheikh Qabruddin Sialvi, Sheikhul Islam, rahmatullah alayh. And so she complained, and she said, I don't get time to make adhkar. You know, like nawafil, adhkar. I don't get time to make any adhkar or nawafil because all I'm doing all day is serving the students and getting things ready, etc. And so the Sheikh Muhammad Karim Shah, he said to their Sheikh, and he said, tell her that she gives her reward to me and she can take my reward for teaching the students. And she said, no, I don't want to. She just wanted to, she just wanted to have that moment with the Sheikh and make the statement, but she knew where the reward lay. And I think about our own Sheikh Pirzada, his wife. So by the time we got to the Darul, it was different. There was a chef that would cook the food for the students. But when my brother was there, when it was in Milton Keynes, I say these things because most of you know him, and he actually came to Aylesbury. I don't know if you know that. He was about to build his, what's called today as Jami al-Karim. He was about to build it here in Aylesbury. And inna lillahi wa inna ilayhi raji'un. And sometimes our community is Allah. I remember Sheikh Sabir Anas came here once, master of the 10 Qira'ahs. You were here that time, remember? And he came here, and they said, no, he can't lead the prayer because his bed's not long enough. And I said, mashallah, he doesn't agree with you on that. That's why he doesn't agree with you. So at least take him on his principles and on his evidences that he doesn't believe that a full fist-length bed is wajib. He's Hanafi as well, from Damascus. You do believe it to be Ahl wa no problem, but he doesn't. You can't start dictating that in that way, but that's just my opinion. I know some people might get offended by this, but I felt very sad that day that a master of the 10 Qira'ahs, do you know what seat he sits on? He sits on the seat of Al-Imam An-Nawawi in Hadith. Do you know that? In Damascus. You know the madrasa of Nawawi? I don't know if you understand when I say Imam Nawawi what I mean. Imam Nawawi is Imam Nawawi. Imam Nawawi is one of the greatest Imams of this Ummah, particularly in Hadith and Fiqh. He was an Imam, Imam Nawawi. What do you do with that Imam Nawawi? His seat, they only give that seat to someone who has reached a high level in Hadith, that he is a Muhaddith, he's a master of Hadith. And Sheikh Samir in Damascus sits on that seat. He was the Muqaddam of Sheikh Nuruddin Ittar, rahimahullah. Now anyone who knows these names knows these names. Anyone that doesn't, well, these were the kibar. Sheikh Nuruddin Ittar, rahimahullah ta'ala, was one of the greatest hadith scholars of our generation. That Sheikh Samir, who is a master of the 10 qira'at, the mutawatira. There's 14 altogether, but 4 of them are from lone report, so you can't read them in salah. But the other 10 are mutawatir. Like sometimes here, you find me, I might even sometimes have a bit of fun and enjoy myself, if you pick up on it, right? Like you can say, Alam tara kayfa fa'ala rabbuka bi ashabil fil. You can say, Alam tara kayfa fa'ala rabbuk. It's a different qira'ah. You can say, the shocking one, I would never dare do it, lest I get thrown out of the mosque. But you can say, for example, Ihdina sirata alladhina an'amta alayhum غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين. That's mutawatir from Rasulullah alayhi salatu wasalam. He read it like that, alayhi salatu wasalam. We say Maliki Yawmiddin, you can say Maliki Yawmiddin. You say Yu'minuna bil ghaybi, you can say Yu'minuna bil ghaybi. You say Bil akhirati, you can say Bil akhirati. Anzartahum, anzartahum. Yani, that man, that Sheikh Samir, was here. You mahroom. Ala kullin. I don't know why I was mentioning about the and by the way, this is that Sheikh Samir. I'm not saying this because I've got any, I'm not like a murid. I'm just aqidat mand from imam, from the aimma of our deen, right? When he's a doctor by profession, by the way. So a lot of the students that study with him in Damascus would read to him in between his patients. In between his patients. And in the morning, you know what you do? He would go to the mosque of Shaykh al-Akbar ibn Arabi and he would just listen to people's Quran. Rectify the Quran in the morning. And then he would have a dars or two in Ma'ad al-Fath al-Islami. Like the whole day. And when the war started in Syria and people were getting out, Sheikh Samir stayed. Why are you staying? They asked him and he said, because this is the time that they're going to need a doctor more than ever. He's got an American passport, by the way. Like he did his training abroad, he's got an American passport. Like it's not like he's stuck there. He has an American passport, he can get out. He comes to England every year, for the halaqah. So you have to honor these people, have to honor these people. In fact, the hadith today will mention that. But Sayyidah Fatima radiallahu anha, she didn't have anything to give, so she took her chadar, her out garment that she used to wear to cover herself. So she just gave it from behind the door. And the man went and sold it. And one of the companions, he saw this is Sayyidah Fatima. It's like, if you're known for your, we have like multiple jackets and jumpers, no one's gonna know. But at that time, you had the one, and only you had that one because everything was done by one person. It wasn't like mass production by children in Bangladesh and slave labor, different world, right? But anyway, he saw that, he said, where did you get this from? He said, this is the Jewish man sold it to me. So he knew, so he bought it off him and went to give it back to Sayyidah Fatima. So there Allah revealed the verse of the Quran, the sabab nuzul of the verse, that even when they're in need, they still give sadaqah. So this is all tied into when I said jihad bil mal. You say jihad bil nafs, giving your life, but jihad bil mal, that's a jihad as well. Imagine, that's your only coat. Now you just gave it to somebody else. You don't know, you're poor, you're self-inflicted zuhd perhaps, but you're not going to get that again. You gave it just because somebody else, like being in the rain and seeing somebody walking and giving them your umbrella. Sounds small, but actually in that moment, who's going to do that? People don't think of doing that. They wouldn't think of doing that. But, so the sadaqah comes in all of its different shapes and forms. So there's jihad bin nafs, jihad bil mal. So this is why this الَّذِينَ يُجَاهِدُونَ فِي سَبِيلِكَ بِأَمْوَالِهِمْ وَأَنفُسِهِمْ. Right? That those that strive in your path with their lives or with their wealth, because you can make jihad with your wealth. So jihad, the concept is a struggle. That's why they used to say, like the famous hadith where Rasulullah is coming back from a physical war. And he said, we're coming back from a jihad asghar to a jihad akbar. Not downplaying the importance of the jihad asghar. That was needed. But to an akbar, what does that mean? Meaning there you went, you fought, that's a huge thing. It's not easy to go and do that, knowing that I'm going to lose my life here, potentially, right? Or a limb, or a nose, or a tooth. It's a very difficult thing for people that go, soldiers, it's a huge thing. Why do we honor soldiers around the world? Like each country honors its soldiers. Why? Because if you don't have them, your borders are not safe, right? Provided you're only fighting just wars, that is, and not just using those poor soldiers and sacrificing them and families only for some type of economic gain or global hegemony. That's a whole different ballgame. But in a righteous way, then those soldiers are honored. So mujahada, this bab is called Babul Mujahada. It's a struggle. Now, the Prophet said, we're coming back to a jihad akbar. What does that mean? The battle, you went to the war, it lasted a week, 2 weeks, a month, you came back. But the battle with the nafs is lifelong, isn't it? At every moment, how much of my nafs is involved here? At every moment, is this for Allah? At every moment, I want to do that, but at every moment, I could say this, I should say this. Controlling myself. That's just a lifelong battle. Like it doesn't get easier, it doesn't get safer. It's just exactly the same every single day until the day you meet your maker. The struggle continues. So that's the big one for that reason, because it's lifelong and it's every moment. From the moment you wake up to the moment that you go to bed, there's a jihad, there's a struggle. There's a struggle with the nafs. Not just big ones, but it's those micro ones. The little ones. They add up eventually. This is why in the Hikam ibn Ata'illah al-Sakandari, he mentions a point. Sheikh Bhoti, commenting on this, rahmatullah alayh, he gave an example. And he said, how do you know when your nafs is involved? And he said, if you got I'm saying this and these are empty words on my part, but inshallah you'll benefit more from these words than I did. And he said, if you have two options, then which one do you prefer? Imagine they're both halal, yeah? They're both halal. I'm not talking about haram here. Haram is not our discussion. They're both halal. He said, then the way to know that your nafs is not involved is choose the one that you didn't want to do. Imagine, for example, I'm sat there and right now, like there's a debate going on and I can make a comment that would just shut this whole thing down. But me saying it or not saying it is equal. Both halal. But I think if I say it, then it's going to make me look good. Like I know what I'm talking about. Like I had the right answer, or I was able to shut you down. So at that point, it's better that I stay quiet. Oh my gosh. Can you imagine social media and this? Like how many times should you have not commented? Like, can you imagine? Like how many times should you have not said something? The amount of things that people say, horrendous things that people say. La hawla wa la quwwata illa billah. The amount of ghibat that falls into, just make your comment if it's beneficial. Share the thing you need to share if it's beneficial. I remember a guy, I was in Turkey, I said this before, and my teacher, Sheikh Mullah Yavuz, I was very fortunate to read Mullah Jami Sharif with him, and great man, Darvesh, Alim Darvesh, Mullah Yavuz. And he was, so I went, and I just went to visit him now. So, and I was at the back, I was waiting for him to finish the salah. We prayed Maghrib, he was praying his sunnahs. He prays quite a lengthy awabin. So, my measly effort. So I prayed mine and sat down. And he was just sat there, your stars, like a child with your stars, you love your stars. I was sat in the corner. I'm going to take a picture of him while he's praying salah. But some people don't like these sort of things, no problem. It was like in my heart, just I want to take a picture of my stars. And this is right next to Fatih Mosque, a little mosque called Hafiz Ahmed Pasha. If you ever go, he normally leads Maghrib and Isha. He teaches you in the day, and he leads the prayer in the evening. You should definitely visit him. But not like a Pakistani visitation, yeah? You just start throwing flowers and put heart over and... no, not like that, don't do that. But you should. Ziyarah of a man of God. He's a man of God. Not just a great mudarris, but he's a man of God. And he was just giving salam to the right like this. I took a picture. And I'll put it up somewhere on social media. And I got a comment from somebody saying, what kind of namaz were you reading? Because he's only given one salam. So how did you take a picture? I thought to myself, didn't it cross your mind that it could have been sunnahs? It just didn't cross your mind. You didn't bother to make an excuse. 70 excuses the Prophet said, right? Like 70 excuses for your brother, alayhi salatu wasalam. You couldn't give me one. You couldn't give me one excuse. I felt so deflated. Just said he was praying his sunnahs. You could have just had a good opinion. No response, no care, gone. Probably never looked back at it ever again in his life. Made a comment and moved on with his life. Yawm al-Qiyamah, that comment's going to be there. I forgive him. But Yawm al-Qiyamah, those things are going to haunt you. They're going to haunt you. May Allah Ta'ala forgive us. So the jihad, the everyday struggle, we don't even think of those things anymore. We think about big things like sharab. We think about big things. What about all of those? Little, every moment. Did I need to do that? Did I need to say that? My God. Social media, unbelievable. And not just that, but the amount of people that you've got that have become the defenders of creed. The defenders. They're like superheroes. They have to defend everybody's aqidah. And they're going out. Pata kakni. Really, I'm saying nothing. No Arabic language, no training, no nothing. They're going for it. Nafs involved there. Because you just want to show that you're correct. I know what I'm doing. Rather than putting the effort. Like when the guy walks in and he goes up to somebody who may have studied for 10 years, 15 years, and he goes up and he starts saying, "Tusri namaz ko nahi theek." Acha, mari namaz theek hai. Why? Because main hadith tak kiyan. Acha to asa ko tu na piyan. Do you know what I mean? It's like, why don't you go do the 10, 15 years of effort and then have a conversation? You can't have your cake and eat it. You can't have your cake and eat it. You can't do that. Go and put the effort in. But it's a struggle. Much easier to nafs. I had a conversation with a lovely lad, does some very good public speaking. So we had a conversation with him, said to him that, look, you're a very good public speaker, etc. But basically, do it. Tabligh is a good thing. Yeah? But also, we need to work on the education side. Why? And I give an example because you have some guys, I can give you a name right now, but I won't, who they never studied, they never got beyond like the first 3 lessons of Medina Book 1. Yeah? Never paid attention, never strived to go to lessons or anything like that. Found a camera. Good speaker, public speaker, got the skills of a good orator. And I'm just giving da'wah, I'm just reading a hadith or nothing wrong with that, right? Okay? There could be a lot wrong with that. In fact, I would say that there's a lot wrong with that. Started, got up to into the thousands of likes. Now he's flying around from Germany to God knows where as, the authority or something. And you're just like, well, hold on a minute. Like, what gave you the position? He's not answerable to anybody now. Why? Because he's got the followers. He's got the followers. Doesn't need. What sanad do you need greater than followers? Than likes? You don't need sanad. What you can do with sanad? Go and spend time learning Arabic and studying and sitting at the feet of ulama and, trying to learn deen and sacrificing. Why do I've already got what they think is the outcome. They think that the outcome of study is that now I can speak to a camera, I can be famous, I can fly around giving talks and seminars, etc. Not realizing that that wasn't the focus or the purpose of it. That's a natural outcome or natural byproduct that will come naturally. People were going to ask you to teach, that's fine. But that wasn't the purpose. The purpose was you were studying. So, nafs. So yes, it's very easy to say, no, this is for Allah, I'm going to give tabligh for Allah. Okay, but why are you giving the tabligh to Allah? What did you learn in order to give that tabligh? What did you study? What did you sacrifice in order to give that tabligh? Nothing. Just wanted you will never say it, but is it because you just wanted the fame? Is that the reason? There's 3 people on Yawm al-Qiyamah that will be flown, the first 3 people to go to Jahannam. Do you know who they are? You probably think Iblis in it. Fir'aun. Nah. The first 3 people to go to Jahannam, kalma go. People that said the kalima. Muslims. The first was a man, I don't know if I get the order right, correct me if I get the order wrong on the hadith. There's a man who went, I think it's an alim, or a mujahid alim. Alim is first. And he says to him, why did you study the religion? And he said, for you. And Allah says, you lied. Kadhabta. You lied. You didn't do it. You didn't do it for that. You did it for shuhrat. He did it for, the hadith of, for, I can't remember the exact words. It's a hadith, I don't want to make a mistake. But it's for the tawajjuh of people. People's tawajjuh. Hubbul jah. Jah, what we say, jah. Jah is to have a place in people's heart. People say, va. It's a horrible disease. It's a disease of the heart. It's difficult to get rid of that, to unpick it. Normally you need a shaykh that basically will tell you to stop doing it. I remember saying to a shaykh once, I was like, oh, Capita, how do you know if your intentions are correct? And I thought he's going to say, no, if you worry about your intentions, it's a good sign, etc. The exact words, goes, how do you know if your niyyah is correct and you're giving da'wah and tabligh? He goes, be a bus driver. That was his response. Be a bus driver. I was like, I didn't expect that. I was expecting him to do shabash to my ego and just say, Vash, you must be really sincere then if you're even questioning your intentions. MashaAllah, you keep on going, right? That's what I was expecting. He gave me a tapper along the face. Go be a bus driver. Go be a bus driver. If you have a slight fare, go and be a bus driver. Habib Umar, Hafif. He sat once. Today when you have fakhr on someone like Habib Umar, look at the ikhlas. Yes, he's an alim, he's Sayyid, all of that, right? Sunni Sayyid. That's a proper Sayyid. Sunni Sayyid. Yeah? And you lose your right to Siyadat with Bad Aqid, that. Like the Shia, for example. Allah right say, you lose your Siyadat. Sayyid, be on the deen of your Prophet, of your grandfather. He left you as Ahl Sunnah wal Jama'ah. And you can't start cursing his friends, the Sahaba now. Ala kullin. So, Sayyid. And he said, oh Allah, this Dar Mustafa that I built, over 50 nationalities to study in Dar Mustafa. Over 50 nationalities. Like it's huge. And he said, oh Allah, if a single brick of Dar Mustafa, a single brick was for other than your sake, I want you to destroy it. Now for most people that's a badwa you just gave yourself. Isn't it? If I made that dua, and I said, oh Allah, if everything that I do of khidmah to deen is entirely for your sake, if it's not for your sake, every juz of it, then take it all away from me. I wouldn't make a dua like that. I would not make a dua like that. For him, that's a nafs mutma'inna. That's a nafs mutma'inna. That is a nafs that has full itminan. Full itminan. Because every brick, every juz, every act, they knew was for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Hazrat Zalimut, he once said that when you give, he said that when you give your deeds to Allah, he said, but when you have ikhlasi, when you have no ikhlas in an act, he said it's like presenting a beautiful gift to a king that has maggots in it. That the gift was beautiful, the amal was beautiful. To see namaz padhi tahajjudi, beautiful. But then you tweeted about it as well. Yeah? So what you did was you did a good act, but then you also didn't do it for Allah. You did it so people think he's a tahajjud guzar. This is the person that prays tahajjud. So what did you do? You got the act, but the act is filled with maggots now. So it was better that you didn't give the gift, because this is disrespectful. If I don't give the king a gift, is one thing. But if I give it with maggots, what is that? Disrespect. It's worse. It's worse. So mujahada, when we say mujahada, when they say jihad akbar, it's not taking anything away from jihad fi sabilillah bin nafs. No. We're not those people either that sit there and pretend like that is an important thing. Absolutely it's an important thing. But why it's called akbar is because that is mahdud to a particular time and place. This is every single day of your life. Every single day of your life. You give charity, so the second person was what? A person that, I think he went for jihad, he was a ghazi, shaheed. Allah says, why did you do it? For your sake. Kadabta. You're a ghazi, so everyone says, oh, sahib shuja'at, brave, courageous, lion, shari al-sunnat. Want to be lion, be a lion. We go into the great debates. So everyone says, oh, look at him. Nobody can beat him at a debate. This is why Imam al-Ghazali at the end of his life, in Ayyul Walad, he actually dissuades the students from engaging in munadhara. That needs to be qualified and understood properly, because there's a time and place for munadhara. You do need to debate sometimes. You do. Because if there's a doubt, you have to clarify it. If somebody's got genuine concerns and they're causing mischief, you have to rad an shubahat or daf al shubahat. It's part of our deen. Someone's got doubt, you're not going to sit there and just be like, sorry, I can't debate you on this. Just spend the rest of your life in doubt. No. But at all costs it should be avoided, and when done, one should tread carefully, because there's nothing the nafs loves better is to shut the opponent up. When the opponent just says, Waqi, you're correct, like champion. You see the munazir in Pakistan, when one of them assumes that he's won, they pick him up on their shoulders and they carry him down. I don't have a problem with that necessarily, because if there's a genuine debate, but like it becomes like a champion, and you're like, munazir salam, and with these alqab, they can mess with your brain. They can mess with your heart and your soul. It's not helpful. So jihad, and that's the second one. And the third one is someone that gave a lot of sadaqah. And we institutionally encourage it, by the way. Here's my last point. We encourage this institutionally. The Prophet ﷺ is from the sunnah that he would do fundraising. He would go up, encourage people, give, Sayyidina Uthman would give up. In order for encouragement, that's good. Like, look, so-and-so, look how much he gave you, I need to give as well. It's from the sunnah. But at the same time, you have to be careful as well. You don't want it to turn into especially in some of our mehfils, it used to happen in it. Oh, Ramzan. I don't know what Aylesbury, I can't remember what Aylesbury is like. But I don't want to say too much. But, it gets crazy, it gets the competition. मैं बिरयानी देती मैं ये देता मैं और he gave biryani so that मैं क्या देसा. It's great for the mu'takifun, the people who i'tikaf. It's great, but at the same time, why are you doing it? Why are you doing that? You're competing for khair. If it's for Allah and to make Allah happy, subhanallah. But if it's really just to show everybody, then alladhina yura'un, this is a whole different ball game. So we'll read the hadith tomorrow. We just commented on Bab al-Mujahada, so people appreciate, because the hadith will come in light with all of this. People assume Mujahada, the Prophet's going to talk about going to war. No, that's a type of jihad. It's one type of jihad. In fact, it's considered to be asghar. The great jihad is really the one every single day. That's the big one. May Allah Ta'ala give us tawfiq to, what do you say, Raza nafs dushman, dam mein na ana, kaha tumne dekhe chandrane wale. It's a big statement, like the nafs is like shaitan. And what about shaitan? Shaitan just whispers. The nafs is inside you. You can't get away from him. Or it. Or her. Nafs is a feminine word in Arabic, isn't it? You can't get away from the nafs. The nafs is attracted to the ground. So you could say it's always pulling you towards earth. It's opposite to what's celestial. Except the nafs mutma'inna. And that's a nafs that the person has put into check. So imagine your heart is here, you've got your mind, which is celestial, and you're in nafs, which is in the stomach, which is close to the private parts, is towards the earth. Your mind is towards the heavens, and your nafs towards the earth, and both are battling over the heart. So whichever one's ghalib, that's which way the heart goes. Until sometimes the nafs becomes so ghalib that the heart can't distinguish anymore. The heart's dead. So this is why they would have a lot of adhkar. Part of the mujahada would be adhkar. They would recite Allah's names, recite Quran, darood, salawat. Why? Because all of that helps to rid the heart of the, you can say the little, Imam al-Ghazali has a great discussion on the marvels of the heart. If you've read it, it's translated to English too. I recommend it, Marvels of the Heart, where he describes the soldiers of the nafs. So it's about, with every, as they say, zarb, every zarb of Allah's name, that it's like picking off one of the enemy from the nafs's army. So that he has a whole discussion on that, and this is why tasawwuf, suluk, spirituality, the name that they gave for it was mujahada. That's what its point was. It wasn't like a cult. Sign up, register, and now you're just like. It wasn't nothing like that. It's an ajib thing that we've made. This was really about, and then the job of the shaykh, who had already been through it, was to help you. The way you're like a fiqh teacher, such as you've done wudu now you do salah. That was a job. It wasn't like just somebody that you just, there was a real relationship there, where they would help you in that saluk. Because otherwise going on your own, it can be done, of course it can be done. But it's very difficult for it to be done on its own. So may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the dua that we make is Allahumma dullani ala man yadullani alayk. Oh Allah, point me to the one that will point me to you. Wa awsilni ila man yusil ilayk. And make me reach the one that will make me reach you. It's all about Allah at the end of the day, isn't it? May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us tawfiq, forgive us for our hypocrisies. Allah ta'ala forgive us for the ghalaba of our nafs, of our hearts. Ya Allah, we beseech you for your forgiveness. Overlook our faults, cover our faults. Ya Rabbal Alameen, be gentle with us, Ya Rabbal Alameen. We recognize, Ya Rabbal Alameen, that our nafs, our nufus are out of control, and we place them before you, Ya Allah, and we pray that you heal our hearts, Ya Rabbal Alameen, that you remedy our hearts from these diseases, Ya Rabbal Alameen. May you give us tawfiq by the barakah of the hadith of Rasulullah alayhi salatu wasalam. Ya Rab, Ya Rab, Ya Rab, give us tawfiq, Ya Rab, to remedy our hearts, Ya Rabbal Alameen, Ya Akram al-Akrameen, Ya Arham al-Rahimin. Wa sallallahu wa sallim wa barik ala Sayyidina Muhammad wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in. I leave you with one sharia, even though it's dua. And this is the one where sometimes those people, they were so afraid of their nafs that they used to run away. People would say, come, you need to do this, you need to do that. They'd run away, and people can never understand them running away. And there's that kalam of Bulle Shah, what was it? Chal bulya uthe chaliye jithe sare anne, na sadi pehchan hove, na san koi manne. Like it got to such a place for them that they would literally run away into obscurity for fear that they would end up doing things for their nafs and they'd be thrown into the fire, Yawm al-Qiyamah. That's the sort of khulus that's needed for that. May Allah give us tawfiq. Jazakallah.